Okay, we are in the third segment of many videos. This here is the letter C, but I only have enough time to show you one country, Canada, and it's a real simple collection. I don't have dimes, quarters. I don't have half dollars, dollars, $2. So it's not going to be that long of a video, but I'll show you what I've been working on. This is Canadian large cents. The country became a country. Canada became a country in 1858 with Queen Victoria on the obverse of the coin. Before that, they made bank tokens for the different provinces and stuff like that to get by with money, and of course they used colonial coins and stuff like that. But as you can see, we have the British again, and another neighboring country of ours is Canada. But in the large cent series, that when it became an actual country, 1858. So it's not as old as our, when we became in 1776, but not too much longer. So 1858, I don't have. It's going to be a hard one to get. There's only 421,000 of them. And of course, all these I had to either buy, went on giveaways, trade. I also traded between Bill J, Beth Coddington, and Sylvia from SJ's Mixed Adventures. So I started the collection this year, and I don't like to start a collection that I can't, work on or keep up or complete. I'd rather have it so I can at least try to complete it. Don't get me started on wheat pennies. Probably, without probably just buying them right out the coins, I'm never going to be, who knows? I don't have that many to go. But we're talking about Canadian today. And I have pennies and nickels, and that's what I'm collecting right now. In sequence, just like the U.S. By year and denomination, of course. 1859 is Queen Victoria era, the Victorian era. As you can see, it went from 1858 to 59. They made 10 million that year in 1859, but they didn't make another coin until 1876. So, like I said, whatever the reason was, I didn't do the history. And then this is a mint mark of H, which means it was minted in London, England, and they made 4 million of them, 1876 H. And then there's an 1881 H. So it skipped about 5 years there, and then they made a few more coins. Now, like our coinage, we were still using, silver and gold from other countries in our denomination, in our coinage, and until they passed a law that it was no longer accepted or acceptable. So they were probably doing the same thing. They were still using, the old bank tokens from before 1858 and all that. I used to have one. I dug one up, metal detected in a Boy Scout camp. It used to be a actual, what do you call it? They went in and cut lumber and all that stuff. Logging camp before it became a Boy Scout camp. And I did find a bank token Canadian coin. Gave it away, did something with it over the years. But we're looking at as you can see, okay, close my camera here. 1881, 1882H. I have there's not that many to complete this series. That's why I this, the large cent series of Canada. So I decided to do it this year and try to work on all these other dates. 1884, okay, they skipped 2 years there. 86, they skipped 2 years there. And then we'll back it up a little bit. 1887, 88. I got the 88, the 90. They skipped 1 year. 91, and 92, 93, 94. I have the 93. So those are all Queen Victorians, as well as the 96, 97 that I have, the 99, 1900, 1900H. I don't have the London variety, so there's 2 varieties of the 1900. So if you got a mint mark, they made, and it's surprisingly, I have the one without the H, which is a really bad penny. That one's pretty bad. But they only had 1 million, and London made 2.6 million. And then in 1901, in 1902, which I don't have, Queen Elizabeth passed away. Gotta save Queen. Now we have a king. King Edward took over. I think it's King Edward VII in 1903. Let me see if I can. There you go. That's what it looks like on the face. We'll go back over to Queen Victoria. There's what she looked like. Anyways, it's pretty cool. And then, oh, what's going on here? Nope. Trying to get this camera to adjust right. Anyway, 1902, I don't have the 3. We lost. We lost the camera. There we go. I don't have the 04, 5, or 6. I have the 7. And then going over here, there's 2 varieties of 07. You got the London variety and the Canadian Mint, which is now called the Canadian Royal Mint. 1909, 1910, and then 1911 comes, I guess King Edward passed away. They didn't chop his head off like a lot of other countries did with their kings and queens. 1911, King James V comes into the picture. 1911, 1912, 1913. I'm missing the 14. We have the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Wish this camera would stop falling down. There we go. Anyways, give you a clearer image of what the back looks like. Try to fake the camera out again. There you go. Just says it's kind of bland. It's not like our wheat penny, we got a nice pretty wheat set. But it's got some design around the edge, and then it says 1 cent Canada, and then date. There's, where United Kingdom's got, Britannia on the back, with the shield and the etc. stuff and the date. Not much of a design. The bank tokens were the same way, not much of a design. But that kind of that's the last of the. If you look, 1920 is the last year of the large sense in Canada. In Great Britain, they kept going with it till like the 60s or almost the 70s, and they started going with the small sense. But let me set up this next book. Now that was a Whitman album. This here is a Warman album. Now everybody knows that the Canada stopped, or everybody should know, Canada stopped producing pennies. They no longer. Now there was a 1920 large cent. Well, they also made a 1920 small cent for that year as well. Now this collection is pretty much full, except for the 22, 23, 25, the 30, and the 37. Just 5 of them. Just 5 coins I need to finish this collection. Here we go again. Anyway, James V goes all the way to 1936, 1920 to 1936. And then James VI, I'm sorry, King George VI starts in 1937. And you see that right here. These are the obverses of the coins. This book actually is not working the way I want it. There you go. Anyways, there's King George V, King George VI, and a lot of you have found these coin roll hunting. And they're very far and few between with the King George V. 6 is a lot more scarcer. The young heads, from 33 to 55, you can find a couple here and there in the coin roll hunting. And of course, the rest of them are all, let's block it out again. No. Just move it a little closer. Anyways, then you got Elizabeth II. Sorry about the camera. It's new to me. There we go. It's trying to autofocus, which is nice. My brother spent some money on it for me. In 1965 to 1989, then they went with, if you look at the different portraits, you got Earl Young, Elizabeth, then you got Elizabeth with I don't know. It says, Royal with the shoulder fold. So it's a different variety that they came up with from 53 to 64. And 53, 54, 55, they were still making the Royal no shoulder fold. This one is with a shoulder fold. Yeah, just different varieties. And then Elizabeth, the next one is from 65 to 89. She's wearing a crown, or what tiara is called. And then the crown portrait of her from 1990 to 2003. But they also made, in 1999 to 2003, they made the crown portrait with the P mark, well, it's a P mark underneath the Elizabeth bust there. And then in 2002, they came out with the Golden Jubilee for Queen Elizabeth. And you see different images, different varieties. Mature portrait. I really like this book because, well, of course, it's almost finished. I'm actually missing 6 coins. The other one I thought wasn't going to be a problem, but it is. Well, and then the mature portrait, right there, that was from 2003 to 2006. And of course, towards the end, they stopped making them out of copper, and they started making them out of plated steel, copper plated steel. So you just stick a magnet to it. And 2000, 2012 was the last year of the Canadian pennies, but as you can see, they're all in pretty nice shape. You know, there's some few that I need to replace, you know, when I get some better versions of them. There's a bird scent everybody loves to enjoy, and that's one of my VU I got from I don't know, some collector sent it to me, not from the coin community. And always I do coin roll hunting, and I find a nice Canadian that's, you know, better than the one in the book. Of course, I'm going to replace it. And this thing is really driving me nuts. There we go. Anyways, 2009 is the only other one I don't have. It doesn't show the other mint marks because the book was made before that. They just added a couple of dates. But 2012 was the last year of the Canadian pennies. Now you can melt them, except for the steel ones. Anyways, there's my collection of the pennies from Canada. Like I said, I'm trying to get it, keep it as short as possible. I did have a half dime that I got from Lemonhead Penny. As a gift, I sent that to Beth Goddington in one of my trades. If you've seen her video on the Canadian coins that I sent her a silver dollar, a silver half dollar, silver dime, a whole bunch of Canadian stuff. Nickels that I don't need. But there you go. Let's go with the Canadian nickels now, which, of course, I said that's all I've got is pennies and nickels. And for the most part, I got a lot of these out of the change, going to coin rolls, and then I got a few from Lemonhead Penny that I did some trades with. But as you can see, in 1922 was the start of the nickel, made with nickel. In 1921 and before, they were half dimes, or they called them fish scales. We stopped doing half dimes made of silver back in 1880s or whatever. We stopped making, you know, with Seated Liberty went out. I think it was like 1891. But Canada was still making fish scales with 925 silver and that 1921 or before. They were called half dimes. Then they came into they started making nickels. I said nickels. And I have a 23. You can see what I got. There's a lot of varieties. These are the Whitman books. And of course, you know, I've only been worried about plugging holes when I get them. And then, nice picture of that. That's a 1931, 34, and then, of course, 1937, King George VI took over. King George V passed away. That's the only way you get your bust, is to be the next king on a coin, kind of like our presidents, dead presidents, I guess. And then you've got some cool looking V-nickels. These are Canadian V-nickels. And if you look, they're wartime, 43, 44, 45. But if you look at the 43 and the 42, the 42 says Tomback. Tomback. Let me share the screen with you. There you go. Just so I can politically say it correctly. Tomback. This is Wikipedia. They made tomback material back in the 1700s, late 1700s, and they were made for buttons. There's a brass alloy with high copper and 5 to 20% zinc, tin, lead, or arsenic may be added for colorization. It is cheap and malleable alloy, mainly used for metals, ornament, decoration, and some munitions. Well, same thing with Canada. They needed the nickel for making, what do you call it, ammo and all that stuff. And like the brass, they needed too. So they started making their stuff out of tomback, which is, as you can see, very cheap, malleable alloy. So, and the nickels actually look like they're gold content. So they put some tin, lead, or arsenic in it to make it look gold color looking, which is kind of cool if you get a real nice looking one. But we'll stop the share and go back to the Canadian. As you can see, it's gold looking compared to 46. Now, tomback, usually, you know, if you don't change the color of it, is made nickel looking, silver looking. And it's like the stainless steel of the 1700s, because when you rub on the button, when you find a tomback button, it shines right up just like silver. It's really shiny, so it doesn't corrode like copper, bronze, and nickel. Got the copper alloy in it. But anyways, there's your tomback, and those are the V nickels, 43, 44, 45 for the Canadian. Those V's, I think, stood for victory, but not the American ones with the V insignia in it. I think peace dollars had the V in it. But as you can see, it's quite a few varieties. The 53, wood shoulder, no shoulder, leaf is close, leaf is far away. And as you see, there's a duplicate spare rabbit, which is a 19. Where's my rabbit? Oh, it's on the next book, I think. But that's my spare. It's another BU coin, but not as good as the one that I got in the other book. All right, well, just a little information about the tomback coin. And then in 44, they went back to the nickel content, and then they stayed nickel the rest of the duration of the coins. Well, I think they changed it to, oh yeah, they changed it to nickel plated steel, of course, because we're trying to keep our government from going broke. Well, they're trying to do the same thing, so they changed it. There's one that's really proof-like. And no, I didn't want any of these from Liz. She's got a whole row of BU jackrabbits there. But 1967, that was the date I was going to try to come up with. Some more small beads, large beads, different variations. Now, these books don't include errors, I sent Beth a book of Canada, strictly Canada, kind of like a red book. It's kind of like a red book. And then, of course, the old Queen now. We're getting up there at 2012, last year. I think that was last year at Nichols, too. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any newer coins in that. Anyways, that's the nickel collection. And that takes care of Canada, what I have. As I said, I did some trade with Beth and sent her a whole bunch of Canadian coins that don't, well, I haven't started collecting yet. So let's share the screen again, and we're going to go to here. We're done with the Tomback thing. This is I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to put it in the comments below, as well as you can look Tomback up yourself. It's just a Google thing. But this is coinsincanada.com. Okay, and this says everything about Canada. You look down here, or right here, Canadian coins, price values, provincial coins. You've got auction prices. Canadian Olympic Games, the Royal Canadian Mint, the foreign countries, which Canada also produces coins for other countries as well. So Bank of Canada, these are banknotes, and you can look up your banknotes and all that, I guess. And then you got errors and varieties. Of course, that's in banknotes. Tokens and medals from Canada. It's a pretty good thing, but it's coinsincanada.com. And like I said, I'll put in the link below. So everybody will stop to share, and I'm going to say sayonara. I'm going to get this uploaded and get ready for bed. I got to work tonight, of course. But tomorrow we'll convene on the letter C, because this Canada took up enough video just to put this one out. All right, later, guys.